Tulip Mania is generally regarded as the first speculative bubble on record. In the 17th century, forward markets started appearing in the Dutch Republic. These are markets that allowed trading in contracts for future deliveries, like commodities such as rice and corn, and now we have them for things like energy futures for oil and gas, foreign currencies, stuff like that. Basically, you're betting on the value and output of something without knowing what the future holds. Grain prices, economic policies, weather events, all of those can change prices in these kinds of markets. So keep that in mind. Around this point in time, the Columbian exchange is really getting going. Tons of new plants are being brought to Europe, like tomatoes and peppers, but at the same time, tulips and hyacinths are being brought in from the Ottoman Empire. They were first imported in 1554 by an ambassador to Suleiman the Magnificent of the Ottoman Empire. He sent seeds to Vienna and they disseminated from there and became extremely popular in Amsterdam. New varieties started to be cultivated to withstand the Netherlands climate. It became a status symbol and a symbol of the Netherlands because they were a new country and they were starting to pop up everywhere. New colors and patterns became super desirable, and a lot of them were brought on by a tulip virus, which also affected their reproductive cycle, and they would put out less additional bulbs. Tulips only bloom like a week a year. Then they go dormant, and during their dormant phase, they can be dug up and sold and traded around. So tulip traders known as florists started signing these notarized contracts to buy these tulips from farmers at the end of the growing season. They would then trade these contracts with other florists. By 1634, tulips were extremely popular in France, and speculation began. They had to come up with this term wind handle, or wind trading, to describe the trading of these tulip contracts without actually trading any tulip bulbs. They were just contracts for future bulbs. The speculation reached a peak in the winter of 1636 to 1637. Some of these bulbs were going for 10 times the yearly salary of a skilled artisan. Most of the contracts from that winter were never filled. The market completely crashed in February of 1637, and no one really knows why. They were just kind of like Beanie Babies. Just all of a sudden, nobody was interested in tulips, which caused tulip growers to freak out. A National Assembly of Tulip Growers was called. Technically, the contracts were legally unenforceable. They were created outside of the established market, and buyers weren't really interested in following through. Compromised by honoring contracts created before December 1636, and allowing contracts created after that to be canceled with a 10% penalty. Some of these disputes dragged on until 1639, but she was largely forgotten until 1841, when some Scottish journalist nerd named Charles Mackay probably greatly exaggerated the impact and behaviors going on during Tulip Mania for a book he wrote about economic conditions. Most of his information came from a satirical work from that time. He also called tulips delicious. He also called tulip bulbs delicious if prepared properly, which we know is false because number one, they're kind of toxic, and number two, you can actually read accounts of the Dutch surviving off of eating tulip bulbs during World War II. That's why Audrey Hepburn was so little. There's many accounts of like how trash they taste. It's one of those red flags that when you see, you're like, oh man, this guy has no idea what he's talking about. We don't know for certain the actual impacts of Tulip Mania. It was the 1600s. A lot has gone on since then. Records have burned. Records may have never even existed. It was probably just a blip. And during this period of time, the Netherlands was a newer country, and they were making money hand over fist, fucking up the rest of the world with the Dutch Indian Company. There was a lot of money exchanging hands for a lot of dumb reasons. This was basically the NFTs of its time. More than likely, it greatly affected a small group who decided to get in when prices were high, because why would the prices of tulips ever go down? Tulips are so popular. Who doesn't love tulips? This has nothing to do with NVIDIA or AI or anything like that.